Hi, everybody. Well, this is our first time at doing what we're calling image chat. Over the just last week, we had launched a new product called Image Lab. And this comes after a couple of years of working on a product called Design Lab that we've been working with in the automotive studios. And so, we're just going to give you an overview of what we're up to. But we're really super excited about this. My name's Philip Lunn. And we have Chris Braun here joining us. I'm going to give a little background of what I've been doing. Some of you know me. I've been around computer graphics. I'm an engineer by training, so I'm not a designer. I've always been sort of a bottled up design guy wanting to create stuff. But as an engineer, when I was in engineering school and when I had my first engineering job, I read a book called The Goal by a guy named Ilya Goldratt. And in The Goal, it's all about if there's a box in the way, pick it up and move it. So really, my whole career has been about that, getting rid of the things in the way from achieving what I wanted to be. I want to go over there and there's a box in the way. Let's move that box away. So really, that's been my focus. And that's what the focus is on this really super cool new tool. And so that's where I come from. Chris, what about you? What's your background? What brings you here?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Chris. Thanks, Philip. That's funny that you're telling this story about this box. My job was always my whole life. If there's a box, I would like to make it really pretty. Yeah,
Well,
so
that's
we have a different idea of working and a different target, maybe, but together we're quite strong.
exactly.
Yeah. My whole life was in between design, technology, and also always for the human. So I wanted to make the life of the designers almost all the time much easier. I did not want to create tech which is really difficult to do and to use. And so, it should be easy and should help you instead of hinder you. So that's
Yeah.
a little bit was my thing. I traveled through some companies over the time and now I'm here with you. It's so nice to have this chat because for the audience, I mean, that's what we're doing every day, and we are chatting about what we did, what we're doing, what images we produce, what is new, what ideas we have. And we thought both maybe it's a good idea to invite you guys and give you a little bit about our strange work we're doing every day. Because since 2.5 years now, we are working on this AI idea to make AI useful and simple to use and very nice and fun. And I think we have something created now which we would like to show. But before we jump in the software, I mean, I would say the target is really to make it easy. So that this was always your goal also, Philip, when you worked before.
Yeah, I mean, making it, like I said, making it easy, but really, what is this thing about? What is Image Lab? Why did we even create it? So we it's all about, and where does it fit? It's all about ideation. Making ideas and bringing ideas to life. The thought that you can have an idea and visualize that idea is something I've spent a lot of time on in various different companies and various different organizations. I've dedicated my career to this.
Yeah,
And,
that's
because
interesting.
ultimately I'm a sales guy, right? So I like to sell a concept, sell an idea, sell something. And, there's a famous saying by Ogilvy, from Ogilvy and one of the most famous ad guys in New York who said, nothing happens until somebody sells something. And that comes down to the idea that you have. You have this vision in your head. You want to convey that vision to someone else. And in the case of a product or something that's manufactured, the idea of going from something in your mind to getting it down into something that other people can see and experience the way you have it in your mind has been a very, very long and expensive journey in the past.
Yeah. And normally, if you have an idea, you want to share it and you want to show it and you have to visualize it. And that's really complicated. So you need to have tools and a lot of people around you, specialists. So when I was working at big companies, we had specialists for everything. If you look to bigger companies, they have specialists for shadows or for reflections or for paint or whatever. So, and if you are a designer or creative person, you want to visualize your ideas by yourself because this is the shortest way from your head to something. And if you don't have the chance to do this directly, you have to go over people or technology, which is not really easy to handle. So you have to transfer it, and it's changing over time.
Yeah.
But now I think was also the one thing why I wanted to do this, because I want to do this for me and for all other creative people to have the chance to do more for yourself. You don't have to ask people, "Oh, could you please take me to 3D model and load it?" And maybe, "Oh, it's not right positioned," or maybe I have some shadows here and textures. I would like to go in and say, "Hey, yeah, I like it, but can you make it more nice? What does it mean nice?" So
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
make it more a little bit wide, a little higher. Yeah, change a character thing or whatever, or some lines of it. So, and it doesn't. It's not about cars or products or fashion. It's everywhere where you are creative. You can
Yeah,
also be very creative in a 2D thing. So that's my mission, to make everything much, much easier for yourself, to be streamlined, to go faster to your idea, faster to the product,
yeah.
and have your mind visualizing your stuff.
And I think, we're at this sort of inflection point. 20 years ago, real-time ray tracing came on the market, and it really hasn't changed much since. It's been around, it's been the same tool. It's really what was invented 20 years ago is still exactly the same way it is today. And 20 years before that, Photoshop came to the market. So it's really about going from, the idea of taking 20-year cycles to go from 2D to 3D rendering that people can sort of get into. Here we are on the cusp of a revolution where you've got technology in your hands that is so powerful, can do literally anything you can imagine, and so we've built this tool that kind of harnesses this power and enables you to take a sketch or an early CAD screenshot to an image, to a story, to a telling the story of why this thing should exist. How do you
Yeah.
convey that concept all the way to a video, which is really super exciting.
And we don't need 3D. I mean, 3D is great. So I was really happy when we started with 3D years ago, and you make fantastic images, and still it's really helpful to do. But in our case, we don't need 3D. We just need 2D. We can take a picture, a snapshot, whatever, and then we can start from there. And this means it's much easier for you as a person. You can now do everything from a design concept, over nice images, over post production, until marketing or storytelling. And this enables me to do the whole range now very fast, very, very quick. So, and I sit here sometimes, I can't believe it. And I think this step, this big step now, it's fantastic. But in the last 20 years, they did a lot of steps too. So nobody was sleeping. A lot of
Yeah,
more
right.
people using 3D. It was not like when I started, it was very just a few people. Now it's much bigger market, more people using. It's great. And now it's the,
Exactly.
the, the point of this inflection point to use it maybe in a different way. Maybe it will change a little bit, yeah, but we have new ideas, and we focused very much on this user interface here. And it's not just the user interface for me, it's more like a user interaction. And can you remember, Philip, when we started for 2.5 years ago, I told you about my vision, and my vision was I wanted to talk to it, you know? I don't want to write a prompt. I don't want to be a technical guy and do some coding, whatever. I just want to
Just want to
talk.
tell it to do what I want it to do,
Yeah,
right? That's what
exactly. Yeah. And now we
uh,
are here.
we're here. We're here and
And
we're
it
going to
was not possible 3 months ago.
It
But
it
now,
wasn't, and we're gonna show you how that works, which is really cool, and so this thing that we've created, Image Lab, it can be used for product placement, technical product shots, sales presentations, colorways, packaging, final product presentation, CAD to image, any CAD system, anything, any kind of 3D data, that any kind of 3D modeling tool or 3D window, any 3D visualization tool, you can grab a screenshot and use that image inside of Image Lab to do amazing things with that.
yeah, but before we make it now too complicated, because it's a really wide range what you can do. So it's really hard to understand. We should maybe just start and show people a little bit about the first project we did yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, but I do want to mention what I just real quick because I think it's important to mention what it isn't. You know? So people understand we know what it does, but what it doesn't do. There's no 3D viewer in this. So you don't need a 3D model. It's really important to think about you don't need a 3D data in order to import that 3D data to do it. You can take a screenshot from from your CAD guy, from your if you're an engineer, you can take an engineering drawing, an engineering screenshot from your CAD software, no matter what it is. Or if you're an artist, you can sketch an idea If you're an early conceptual sketcher, you can grab a sketch. So we're not trying to be a sketch tool either. We think there's lots of sketching tools out there that are really very good. So we haven't even gone there. We're like saying, you know what? We want to focus on making it as easy and as simple as possible to get into it. So the way we're different and what sets us apart really is that we do one click. We do a lot of stuff with one click, even from sketch, from image, from voice. It's more than just a product shot. You can simply be your own creative industry, and anybody can do this. That's the exciting part. It's like anybody who sits down with the tool can get something that's pretty significant. And if you've got a creative mind, if you've got a curious mind, you can explore and find all kinds of really exciting elements that it can be used for. And we're going to
And
show
it
you these examples
and
in the
it's
area: product design and design, mechanical design, engineering, jewelry, transportation design, interior, home goods. Basically, it runs the gamut of where you can possibly use this for.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. So we easily could integrate a 3D viewer, it's not a problem. But we decided to go a new way. We go this new way. We don't take this old step again in a different kind of way. We want to do it new and different. And that's why I think it's a really big step what we have here, including our user interaction, which is really cool. So
Exactly.
you can talk to it, you can click, or you can prompt whatever you want. And you can do it like this or this. You can go different verticals. You can use verticals ideas from fashion to cars, from cars to products. That's great. So we have a lot of possibilities to mix it up.
Exactly. And it's for designers, right? Ultimately, designers and engineers, marketing professionals, architects, anybody who has an idea for something that gets created somehow, it's going to get built. And if it's something that gets built, you can visualize it and tell a story around this to convey why you should be building this versus something else.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's for professionals more or less, I would say. I'm not aiming it to do it for everybody. You can do stuff like putting your dog and do something with your dog photo, whatever. It's great to do also. It's fun. But I think my aim was always to have this visual quality on the highest level. And Philip, how hard it is to make me
Oh,
satisfied.
yeah, yeah. Especially when it gets to jewelry or glass or things like this
We had
that
a
take.
lot of conflicts and we discussed a lot and we pushed it together, over the last 2.5 years. But now I think we are on a level which I like a lot, and I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it to work with it. It's just fun for me. And
Yeah,
yesterday
me
in the
too.
call, we had a call yesterday. I said to you and the other guys, it enables me to be more creative. And this is like I
Yeah,
studied design. I was working in design a long time. And I'm kind of creative, maybe not the creativest guy on the world, but a little bit creative at least. But this thing allows me now to be suddenly really creative, so
yeah,
which I
yeah.
never felt before.
Mm.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been called the Swiss Army knife for designers already by John Saz, who was, got his own company after working many years as the chief designer of Nissan in Latin America. He's been using it for a little while and loves it, right? So, you don't need it from a sketch, from an image, no need for 3D. It's really inexpensive when you look at a cost per image that it gets generated. It's fast and it's and the quality level is fantastic. So let's enough talking, I guess. Let's take you through a few stories that evolve as you start using the tool. You can, and then we'll show you a little bit about how it actually works, and we'll do a couple of examples.
Yeah, so I just shared my screen. Do you see this, Philip? Yes, sir.
I do, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's our software right here, you see. And you see here you can scroll up and down, and you see here the name Image Lab from depix. Here you can define your own projects. Yeah, you can make a new one and you can go to different projects. I have now a wine bottle project open. You can share with your friends, your all your results later on. You see all the images down here in the gallery down here. You can share with your friends. And then you
Sharing's very cool because it actually shares the gallery. So down below, as you generate images, it makes what looks like a Pinterest gallery. So you can essentially just grab that link and share it with someone else, and it works just like Pinterest. It's a live gallery that as you add more images, you can see the sort of the body of work grow. And at any time, you just hit the button and turn off sharing, and then they won't have access to it anymore. But it's
yeah,
a really great way to show people what you're up to.
And it's very simple. It's just here two buttons here, your project, your share button, your language button, and your credits you see on the right side. And then you can drop your image here. We have some samples to use, and then you have the voice button in the middle because voice is very important. But
That's your favorite button, right?
it's my favorite button. Yeah, we have some more buttons you will see later, but it's really nice to have it. I just go down to the gallery because I would like to show you a little bit what I did yesterday. So this is a CAD model I found online, and I go full screen here, so I can show it full screen. Though this one I made a position out of it. I made a snapshot, loaded in, and then I did one click CAD to image, is it called, and it gave me this. And this is for me like the first thing. Oh, I said, wow, yeah, this incredible. I mean, glass, and you can look through the glass, you see all the reflections. What do you think, Philip? It's a nice image or not?
I think it looks great. The bottle's about to fall over, but, other than that, it looks fantastic, especially how you got the logo on there. I think it's really remarkable how you can take a logo or a label or some other element that you wanna include in the scene and just simply attach it and tell it what you wanna do with it.
Yeah, it's cool. And that's why I said, okay, fill in some red wine, So I filled in some red wine here. And
And
then
notice the level of the wine at the top already is the correct,
it's
it's the way the
horizontal.
leans. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I said it's maybe not the best
3D
place for
model,
a
right?
bottle.
You'd be stuck if that was a 3D model and you have some fluid in there, you're already stuck.
And don't forget, you come from here. One click, you're here. Next click, you're here. And how did I fill in the wine? I just talked to it and said, please fill in red wine. Boom, done. And
Amazing,
then
yeah,
I said, okay, let's have the bottle right, vertical, because
yeah,
that's the better place for a bottle. And then I said, okay, maybe we should have some wooden table, not just this gray table. And then I said, oh, put a nice glass next to the bottle, And then now you see the reflections here. There's some light coming in the room. It goes to the glass and all this little stuff, you see here. It's amazing, So, and here again, put some red wine inside, So really nice. Yeah, and
yeah,
then I said, okay, it's 25, put in 25. And here it's funny also, I told it, do it in the same fitting font like depix image lab is written, that it fits together, So that's
yeah,
also very cool. You can just say, make it similar, It should
yeah,
fit, and it's doing it, So put a candle next to it, light the candle, So, and then you look here, you see the candle in the bottle, you see the candle light here.
yeah,
And then we have a one click, it's called lifestyle click, you go, okay, lifestyle click, boom, it gives you this, So, and then I said, okay, let's make a small video out of it, So let's see if this works now. I have to go, here it is, yeah. That's a small video. It's just a small movement. It's now 5 seconds. We can also do now 10 seconds. We will show later on other movies with sound and so on. But that's for me, so interesting because you have this kind of storytelling, You start here with this green bottle, you talk to it, you make some clicks, and you get a full scene done here. And it's for me, I mean, you can change now the scene to be more advanced or whatever, modern, whatever, but it's like I just wanted to share this project because you see
it's great, yeah.
refraction, all the stuff, and I think it's a really nice story, yeah.
And really, again, it comes back to, as we'll talk about more, is that many of these we have a lot of presets, so you don't have to think about where you're getting the prompt from, what works, what doesn't work. You can just try these preset buttons, and these buttons are gonna grow in number. We're gonna refine them so they get more and more accurate and better quality, and we can have as many as needed. So if anybody out there's got an idea for a set of, a scenes or some kind of things that they want, let us know. We can build the buttons for it, and then you'll
Yeah,
have another there customized sort of directly for you.
and this is cool. Now I said, okay, I take this image again from this bottle, the beginning image here, so I can delete the image, I can clear canvas, and here I see how many pixels I have, the resolution. I have here a box with some really nice tools. We don't show it today, maybe next week, but it's really nice. We have also an upscaler here, stuff like this, upload, download. We can compare, we can crop, and so on. And then next to our voice button, we have some buttons on the left side. That's for the verticals. If I have a car image, I go there. If I have products, I go there, jewelry, and so on. On the right side, we have simple buttons like sketch to image or cat to image. I just press it now. So I pressed one time cat to image, and it's making magic. So this is now live. This is now live streaming and the live doing of this image, you know. And you have here then style buttons. We have video and we have remove it. So if you have maybe a photo from something, you want to remove something, you know. So it gave me this image now, and now you can work with this image. You can fill the bottle, you make a vertical, and so on. You can change the room.
Yeah, it's really
Here's your
yeah.
box for your prompt. We can attach also images to bring our logo in and so on, or textures. We can enhance the prompt and we can send our request. Yeah. And you see here also now very open how much credit is used for what. And if I go down here, I have here my library and I can go through the library and then I can say, okay, I can delete images here, download and so on, or edit again. Yeah. So I can also go in here.
And right now we're doing a promotion, so you get 250 credits right now, which is about well, it's 250 images or 250, renders, whatever you want to call it, or about 18 videos. So you can really dive in and experience the tool and explore and see if it's the right thing for you. Because it's a little bit different the way it works, but it's also very very exciting. Chris, I did a project before the meeting here. Should I go share real quick
Yeah, do it.
what I
Share
did?
it. Yeah, share it.
Because sometimes I get on a creative bender, the engineer that I am, and I just say, you know what, let's see what happens if I do this, And in this case, I actually have a friend who, well, my wife has a really good friend who owns a jewelry shop just down the road from me. And so I thought I'll give jewelry a try. And that's one of the reasons why the jewelry button is in here. So there's a sample image, and the sample images are free. So if you make a render with the sample image, it doesn't take away from your credits, which I think is kind of nice. But you can always click in here and it'll load the sample image. And then in this case, you would take a CAD to image, and what CAD to image, because this is a CAD screenshot here, as you can see. And what that CAD to image
And
would
this
do
could
is
be from every CAD system, or is it?
any CAD system you can grab a screenshot from. It's agnostic because it just takes the pixels, right? So it's a pixel. It works on the pixels only, and it understands the 3D elements of what's in that pixels and the depth that's in there. So here's a one-click result, just picking CAD to render. This is what it does.
This is
And then I
unbelievable.
wanted to put it as a studio photo shot.
Philip, can we go back one? This is unbelievable. One click and you get this image out because look at the shadow and how the ring is positioned and so on. The light comes in. And the diamond in the middle, how this refraction is working. So, and this is a one-click render.
Yeah, and I remember back 20 years ago when this was the idea of doing this in real time. Before that, it was hours and hours and hours to render one shot like this. Then it went to real time, but it still took a long time to resolve. Now, with many of the AI accelerated 3D rendering tools that are out there, it's much faster now, but it's nowhere still like this. This is a one click, 8 seconds, not doing anything, no material assignments, no shader assignments, no lighting assignments, no HDRs, none of that.
But
It's
you
literally
can
just
change
one
it
click.
later on, or you can change now the color of the stone and so it's stuff like
Oh, you
that.
can do this is where it gets fun because you can click a photo, you go to the product photos, the product button, and you pick a product photo studio button and hit go and see what you get. And then you can we also have a panel of in the jewelry section, we have a panel of stone colors. So you can change it from a ruby to an emerald to amethyst to what, there's 20 different colors in there you can choose. And again, you can see the interaction of the light from the stone to the diamonds, which is a very difficult effect to actually achieve in 3D rendering.
Could you also put the ring on a hand?
Funny you should ask. Yeah, that's one of the presets. It's called lifestyle image, and you click on lifestyle and it understands it's a ring. It puts it on a hand. And then if you want to change maybe you want to change the color of the fingernails, you just say change the color of the fingernails to red. And you use that with your voice prompt and it does it. Or maybe you want it on top of the hood of a red Ferrari that matches the fingernails and you have this. So literally from a few seconds, a few clicks from a CAD screenshot to a marketing quality image, really showing that ring. And this is perfect. It's ideal for small business, for any company that wants to make screenshots of their design and or to have images of their design before making the product. so you can actually begin to sell the product on Instagram or online before you go through the trouble of going to manufacture it.
But for me, it's more important to have this fantastic quality because if you go back to your cat to your cat model, I mean, it keeps the number of stones, it keep everything, you know. So it's all the how the big stone is kept, you know, it's the same keeping. I don't know the word in English, but this is the same, and but it transfers you with one click in this next area. No, no, just make one click, show the one click solution.
Oh, okay,
Go back.
sorry.
You're too fast. You're because this is a huge step, you know, to go from a CAD model
Huge.
in this image, you know, and the shadow and the light. This is for me, wow, you know, and I mean, to make a photo, it's hard if you have the real product, you know, but to make a render is even harder, I would say.
I
So,
don't know, a few years, it wasn't that long ago, I was saying, "Oh, 3D rendering is solved," it's a solved problem, and I realized that yes, it's solved, but now it's super accelerated into a way that goes way beyond just solving the problem of rendering. This actually understands the physics behind what's going on with the object itself and how it interacts with the environment without you having to think about that. So, as a designer who has an idea, a concept, a sketch that you hand it over to a 3D modeler, or if you're a 3D modeler yourself and you've created a 3D model, but you've never been one to push all the sliders and buttons of a rendering solution, this is your answer, right? This is
yeah.
your solution.
But if you just show the rest again, and if you let me show my next project,
Let me show
um,
the
because I
let's
want to
show
show
the
this
render
more. But
animation
this is
here.
our typical conflict we have all the time, you know. You want to show everything all the time, you know. So, but
Look at my
here we go.
animation,
Oh,
Chris. Look at
nice, nice.
yeah, you this was just this was a 10-second animation, and I just lined it up. There was a slight modification I made to the prompt, so when you click the video button, it'll put the prompt in the box, and then you just want to read through it to make sure that you're. I added a stylish ruby and diamond ring, so that's what I added. What are you rendering? So you got to think about what is the object, the subject of your scene. And if you make sure that gets added into the prompt, you're in business. The rest of the words you don't have to worry about so much. But this is just a quick example. It takes about a minute and a half to render a video like this, which is perfect to put on your Instagram or on your social media to promote your products.
When I worked at a bigger OEM some time ago, you know, it was a dream to have something, a car driving or so, you know, and it was always a big effort to make it really good looking, you know. So it's really high cost, you know, and it took time, weeks, you know, until you saw the first draft. So I think this is the animation is a really big step for your product story because
Yeah.
I learned in my years if something is turning and you can show something, a car is driving, a product is doing something, it's much more believable instead
Brings
just
it to life.
of one image. And it brings it to life, and you have more emotions, and you can sell it better. You know, so that's all
Exactly.
about if you have a creative idea, you want to sell it at the end. You know,
That's
or you
exactly
want to
right.
build it by yourself and then sell it. You know, so that's
That's exactly
fantastic.
right.
So
Yeah.
you ended sharing. Now I can
I
share my
did.
screen.
I
Oh,
handed
that's
it over to
good.
you. What you got now, Chris? Come on. What you got?
Yeah, I show you something really, really crazy. I mean, I changed my project here. I have here this Hyundai sketch. I found this sketch here, and I will start here by this sketch here. And I type here full screen, and you see this sketch is a sketch I think I took out from LinkedIn or so. Just took it, and I think it's from Simon. Simon was my colleague one time at Porsche, Volkswagen, but he's now at Hyundai. And it's a really cool sketch. I love it. I love this car also. It's fantastic. You know, they're doing a really great job.
Yeah.
And then what you try, you come from the sketch, you want to see, okay, I want to have a model, you know, but you should keep the sketch as most as possible, you know. So, and this image shows you, okay, you're quite close, you know. So that's really cool. And I mean, to go,
We actually spent a lot of time on this to make sure that the sketch and the result is very close. So, as a first step, it's best to use that sketch to image button because it does something different than the rest of it, and it keeps the sketch adhered to keeps the rendered product to adhered to the sketch very nicely.
it's very cool, but it's not what I like to see because, you know, it's not, it doesn't look too cool, you know. So that's why you go the next step and you do it here and you get this emotional image. And if you go back, you see the car is not changed, but the perspective is changing and then the whole mood is changing. And this is really cool because now you get a feeling And then if you have this car, I was thinking about, it's such a cool thing, this black and silver and the whole shape and so. And how would it be to do something different? And now what you can do, you see now the classes. I mean, that's crazy for me, but you can say to the tool, I just talk to say, take this design, and leave it like it is, but put it in a different product, like the sunglasses. And that's what it did, and I look at this, it's like incredible. I couldn't do it better, and this is still with a logo and the shape goes around and the black and the
It's pretty apparent it took the design language from the car and applied it to glasses, which is just incredible. Yeah.
this is incredible. And then you see it directly on the face of the guy here, So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I go back here, we started here, with a sketch, So sketch, image, one click, next click, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we are here, and then we are on the face, and then on the model, yeah. And it looks very, very interesting and nice. And then we have this fantastic button. You get 4 views in one click. So it
Yeah.
gives you here a side view of the class, Suddenly you have a side view and you have
Yeah.
a rear view of it. It's really, I mean, this is also unbelievable because now you can start really to think about how is the shape and so on. And
Yeah.
then here again, I mean, yeah, I mean, what will I say? I mean, a picture tells more than my words.
Well, this is what you can see now from these images. Now you began with a car, but you use the product button to with all product focused ideas in that series in that panel of buttons to choose from. You can mix them up, and then we included the fashion because you can include the product on in context with various different kinds of fashion, whether it's resort fashion or futuristic fashion. It's very easy to explore how these might actually work in the real world.
Yeah, this was for me an amazing story, and I did this
Yeah,
on and on now with different products. And you can also, if you have one product, you can say, yeah, keep the design and make a different product out of it, but it should be a family. Then you have a family, then you can change the family, and this is speeding up your process so dramatically, so you can now do stuff which took a long time before in much faster time now. And just you, nobody else. You don't need somebody in this moment, and that's good for me because I want to have my brain focused. Oh, no, but
ex
what are you showing now, Philip?
I'm gonna take it away from cars and products and bring it back to something else because in the when you we all live in a home, we all like to remodel. You've always got a project you would like to sort of get an idea of what your room might look like in a different way, and this is a perfect tool for that. Even though you're using it for work, you've got you want to have it for doing products and what have you. You can take a snapshot, just take an iPhone picture of your living room and upload that and begin to do things with it. So this was just a stock image, but
I thought it's your living room at home. It looks really cool.
well, I wish this was my home. Not quite my style, but it's very nice.
That's nice.
But anyway, so let's say the first thing we have a really cool panel in the thing for it's called remove it. What it means is you can remove furniture, you can remove plants, you can remove objects, you can remove you can remove cars,
You can
people,
remove your ex-wife.
you can remove your ex-wife, your ex-girlfriend, you can remove your pets, you can remove anything you want to remove. We've got a button, you just hit the button and it'll do the job. So, and what the remove it tool does is something like this. It does what you used to have to do in Photoshop with a clone tool and an erase tool and trying to restore the image from the damage that it had from trying to remove what it was that's in the scene. In this case, it literally is a button press and it just disappears and fills in all the blanks that was behind the objects that you were looking for.
Yeah, but
So it
Philip,
makes it super easy to do.
if you tell this now, it seems to be so simple, but I did this myself and I could do it because the carpet was really huge, and then you don't know how the reflection from the light comes in. And to do
Yeah,
this by hand, I mean, for me, it was not possible. You
right,
have to be a
exactly.
really
Yeah,
high-end
for me
expert to
neither.
do it.
It's one tool I tried to learn how to use in Photoshop was the cleanup tool, the clone tool. how do you take something away and it's just
But
so hard,
that's why I
and
have
this
a
has solved that
question.
problem for me.
I have a question now to you. If you now click on edit image, this image now, because now we removed everything, can you do this for me? And
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
now talk to it and say, remove the plant? Because the plant is really hard to remove, so because of all the leaves and so on. Maybe you can do this live.
Okay, I'll just click on the voice button, remove the plant, and then I hit send.
But you did not say on the left side of the image or in the corners
No, I
or
just said remove the plant. There's only one plant in the scene, so it's gonna know which one. Now, if there was 2 plants, the one on the left, one on the right, and I wanted to remove the one on the left, I would say, "Remove the plant on the
oh,
left."
look about this. This is magic, man. This is crazy.
It
How
is
does it
actually.
how does it know to get this plant away? I mean, hey.
I don't know. And another thing cool is you can talk to it in many languages, right? So I mean, Chris, you talk to it in German all the time, right? So
Yeah, for me, it's very important to have my language because I can define my sentences in my language much more precise. So I think
exactly.
it's for every language really important to speak in your native language. So because I think to talk really precise is also very important to get the right result. So this is like a little bit you have to do it, but in the meanwhile, I talk very much to it. I say, okay, change this, make it here. So I love it.
And you can be very specific about what you want, right? I think that's something else that as you start to explore this technology for doing this kind of thing, you get used to talking to it and you realize you could ask it anything and it'll do something. And then you soon realize just where the limitations are. There aren't any really. That's the amazing that we haven't found any limitations of things it can't really do
Can
that
you
you
show
want it.
us a little bit more interesting images? Because now we
Yeah,
speak
of course.
very
Yeah,
long
yeah.
on this image, but the plant remove was really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So let's take this now, and I want to change the sofa, right? So in this case, I uploaded an image. I attached an image of this Chesterfield sofa, and I said, "Put this sofa in, replace the sofa." That was the entire prompt, and it exactly replaced the sofa, kept the pillows in place, and then you can visualize it with a whole new look. And then I
Crazy.
replaced the chair in the same way. I uploaded a picture of a chair, said, replace the chair with this, and
And
it
the
did it.
shadow and everything is changing and everything is right. Yeah, it looks like it's
Everything is right.
crazy.
Shadow changes, everything looks correct. You gotta look at the television screen, the plant reflecting in the screen, for instance.
Yeah, and the window, you see the window from the outside. Yeah, and now you're doing more your home, or a little bit more like.
This was a style button, or it was in the, home interior, panel of buttons. I just clicked bohemian. So this is a bohemian photography. This one is Mediterranean architectural,
Now
and then
you're outside because in Italy you have always this fantastic
that's
weather.
right, you've always got your little patio there outside, right?
Oh,
And this
fantastic!
one
But the colors are great because this is typical Italian colors. If you go one back, please.
yeah.
It feels like Italy. It's not like just an image. It feels like Italy. It's cool.
Exactly, but it maintains all the furniture placement exactly as it was before.
But you have no TV anymore.
No TV, because who needs a TV when you've got this out to live with
Right.
outside?
Yeah. If you have some olive oil, you don't need the TV.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Oh,
here's a
nice.
different style again, coastal interior.
Oh, cool.
This one is
Oh, this is cool.
modern architectural
Wow.
photography. This is more German style. I think you'd probably like this one a bit more, huh, Chris?
Yeah, I don't like your chair, but I like the rest. Yeah, and the
Okay.
sofa I don't like so too. But the windows I like a lot.
We can easily change that.
Okay, good.
We're back to sort of an industrial interior, and these are just one button clicks to select. So you can see this one's a luxury
Wow.
interior.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is
this is a little
cool.
nicer. Yeah,
Wow.
very luxurious. Yeah,
So you can show your ideas in everything you want to do. So
anything you can imagine.
make
You
it.
can actually upload, say, 5 different images: a table, some chairs, a sofa, a coffee table. You just attach 5 images. Say, arrange this in the room. So if you have an empty room, it'll arrange it in the room. You can also say, change the floor to dark walnut, or maybe you want it to be bamboo, right? So you want the walls a different color, go
Oh, you can
bold,
paint the
or
walls.
screen wall.
That's also very cool to paint your walls because normally you don't know how it will look. So
Yeah.
good.
And we have a paint color palette now that you can actually enter an HSV value and get a precise color,
Can you show
which is
this
really
color
nice.
right now a little bit? This how do you use this color? Or
Well, yeah, I could just, go to
Just to
edit
show
image
where it
here,
is and how it looks, so
I clicked on edit image, then I
yeah,
click on home,
yeah.
and now I come down, you can see you've got a color picker, and the button says apply color to walls, so I can pick, I don't know what color we want,
I
maybe
just move the color a little bit, on the slider, so you just
okay,
click
let's
here, see?
yeah, yeah,
And
let's go a different
this gives you the hex color, or can you make it darker also?
yeah, yeah,
Ah, and
whatever
this
you
will
want.
give you the hex number.
There's the hex number right here, here's the RGB value, and here's the HSL number.
Or you can say, "This is my RGB number I want," and then you click here, and then you get your it oh, cool.
Apply color to walls, and there's your color value right here, 5A330C, and that goes into the prompt right here. You can just type your number right into that prompt if you wanted as well, if you have a
Okay, I
particular
never did
image.
this. I never did this. That's cool, yeah, so,
Yeah, it's
nice
cool.
experiment, man. That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool, actually. So let's see. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, very
There's your wall.
nice. Yeah, fantastic.
So this is I mean, what a way to visualize your room, right? It's,
Can you make full screen this image? But then you have to go in the library first, so
yeah, I think so.
mhm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you have to click okay, you have some other examples here also.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I've got
good.
some other here oh, let me go full screen here.
Yeah, go full
There you
screen.
go.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
so as you can see, we have this image viewer, which is very nice to have built in. It's like I said, a Pinterest viewer. Here it is in white. Here. Let me go through to get to where we were. Okay, here we were. Okay, so I had it green, and then I wanted a minimalist kind of Japanese vibe, but I didn't like the table on the right hand side, so I said remove the table on the right, and it disappears. Then remove the coffee table and then change the walls to another color. And you can see the lighting even changes. It's sort of you can feel the secondary bounce onto the floor, the slight
Yeah,
darkness
this
of
is unbelievable. A little bit color bleeding inside. It's really cool.
in this case, I said put CNN on the television, so it put CNN on the TV. I didn't have to apply a texture. I didn't have to do anything. I just said put CNN on the TV
Okay.
and it appeared.
Before we stay too long here in this home area, I would like to show you one thing before we finish for the day, because I think this is great again to see. If you allow me to share my screen one time
Okay,
more.
you got it. I'll stop sharing here if I can find the share button. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. It's
But I have to say, it's really fun with you, Philip, to have this image chat, because what I see for what you did in the last days, it's really cool. So for an engineer, I mean, it's not really, it's really cool
Oh, I
stuff.
try. But I think this is the reason why we're even doing this, honestly, is because, oftentimes I come into the office, I give Chris a call, and he says, "Oh, let me show you what I did." And he shows me a whole series of images. And my head explodes because of the creativity and the beauty of the images. It's really remarkable. He called me last night, like, look what I did. You won't believe it. It's so cool.
Yeah,
We
so it's
do this
like,
all the time with each other.
yeah, I found this cat model, so it's like a cat model, it's not very much done, but I thought maybe it's a good class, so I did it in one click, from here to here. I wanted to have a whiskey class, so and I think it's whiskey class really a hard topic for render, because you have all this refraction and shadow stuff and all so on, and it's quite good for one click, already. But then I said, okay, put some whiskey inside and some ice, and I mean, look about this, from here to here in one click, next click. And then I said, okay, I would like to have this little bit water, on the glass if it's cold, and so it gets this water. I don't know to say it in English, but it's like it leaves
Condensation.
compensation. Ah, right, yeah, that's good. And then here again, I made it vertical, and then I said, okay, outside here, a lifestyle image. So I'm sitting outside having my whiskey on ice outside, or it could be apple juice also. You see the glass again here. Then you have different
Yeah.
moods, you can go here, different lights, moods. Then I pressed something else. Suddenly I did get my logo on a shirt. Looks cool, but it should not be inside. Then a different mood, in a bar. You have a bar feeling. And yeah, you can go really crazy with it, But I wanted to show you this one, because I think this is a
That's
really good
great.
example also for the quality of the image, and that's really for me unbelievable, So, and we can do a lot much more here.
Yeah, and some of the coolest stuff, of course, is the videos. We've just added the ability to add sound as well, so you can do a 5-second video or a 10-second video, and after the video is complete, you just say, "Add sound," and it goes away and processes a little bit and comes back with a soundtrack that most of the time matches the video that you look at really, really closely. If you've got people walking, it'll match footsteps. If you've got cars driving, it'll give you an engine sound. And we produced some of the most crazy, amazing videos over the last couple of days. This is brand new feature we just added, and we actually have Jeff Heffer, who. Well, you can show this, but
Yeah,
there's
this
a guy
one
who's been using
is my
was one of
favorite
our
because
original. What
it's
what's
so.
that?
I love this video because I look at the reflection on the glass and so on the paint here is like for me this is
So
I can look at this the whole day long, so
sound effects, the streaming of the environment into the car, all these things that take so long to do if you do it any other way.
yeah,
It
so you
opens up new worlds for communicating your ideas.
so I visualized here a car and I said, bring the car in the Italian colors, so and put it to a city in Italy with a lot of people around, and gave me this image. I mean,
Totally cool.
yeah. So now
Yeah.
it's your time. I will give you the screen
I
and
was
then
just
you
gonna show a couple
show
of
some
animations
videos,
that
please.
I was just going to show a couple of videos that we've made. One is this one was a hot rod Ehab Kub who posts on LinkedIn quite a lot. I grabbed one of his roadster shots because he's been posting all these very cool roadster images lately, and I thought, oh, what happens if I put it on a racetrack and then make a video? So I did that, and here's the result with sound. I hope you can hear it. I'm just going to share the screen. I've got a couple of examples here. Here we go. Here's one. So this is a 10-second video. There was no driver in the car, so I talked to it. I said, put a guy behind the steering wheel with his elbow sitting on the windowsill and his hand sort of resting on the window. And sure enough, he's there looking right at the camera with his sunglasses on. And then I just hit then I said, okay, the prompt was I want to do a burnout. So have the car rev its engine and then pop the clutch, let the wheels spin with tons of smoke, and then the car peels out down the road, and then the camera follows the car. That was my prompt, and I spoke it into it.
Yeah, before you play, that's a very important point you just said because you spoke to it. So you
Yeah.
can you have this one image, you take your imagination, what you want to see, and you just tell it. You
Yeah,
don't have to
exactly.
write, you don't have to click somewhere, you just speak in your mic or your computer and you say, yeah, I want to have some steam coming out and hear this and this and this.
Yeah.
And you did this. I mean, this is fantastic. And then you push the button and what comes out?
Yeah, I mean, I could have just as easily said, "Drive the car into the pits," and it would have done that.
Yeah.
But here's what I did, which is just incredible, right? To go from concept to like clouds of amazing smoke that would require a massive degree in fluid dynamics and physics inside of Maya or one of these kinds of tools that are just almost impossible to achieve. And here we are at a point in time, the most exciting time I think we've been at in a long time, where your imagination really is the defining element. You can do whatever you can imagine. You can actually say that. We were saying that back a long time ago. Oh, you can imagine anything. It's like it wasn't true. Now it actually is.
Yeah, now we're coming to the point where I would like to be, and that's really cool. I can really talk to the system and just express as I talk to a human. Say, I would like to have this, and this, and it's doing it. So, and that's what I think. It's a really cool human interaction. So that's what we trying to achieve here. So I think our user interface, our human interaction is great, Philip.
Yeah, I
I
want
love
I
it.
want to share this because this is just a fantastic story behind this. So this is Jeff Heffer, who we knew back from beginning of when Hypershot first came out. He became one of our early customers, and he's actually been using Hypershot/Keyshot for 20 years. Okay, so I rang him up and we had a great chat yesterday, and he showed me what he does. He models in Autodesk Fusion these cars, and then they actually get built. So he works with a few very key builders where they're hand pounding the metal down in Argentina and just doing beautiful work building these concours ready multi-million dollar cars. This is a, I believe it's a Corvette sort of chassis design, but I think if I recall correctly, it has a 12-cylinder Ferrari engine in it.
Oh, cool. I love it.
So he sent me this last night after having the software for one day. And, I'm just completely floored that someone with 1 day experience or just playing around with the tool can do something like this. So let me just play this one because it's full of sound effects as well.
Maybe you can make it louder somehow
I don't know if, well, I can try it, but I don't know if the sound will play. I'll make my,
because sound is very important for these movies.
yeah, yeah.
Better. That's cool. I
Yeah, it's
like
cool,
it.
and if you want to extend this video, like, you wanna start from this frame, you could cap you we don't have it automated yet, but you could capture this frame and then use that as the first frame and do a different camera shot. Maybe it's a zoom out or zoom in, so you're now your own movie director, which is just super exciting.
Yeah, but 10 seconds is already a lot. You can make really nice storyboard for 10 seconds, It's quite interesting.
You could
Also
do
for
you
normal products. I think, Philip, it was a really cool show today. So I think we showed a lot to the users, and it was really fun to talk with you. And I'm looking forward to next week, what we're going to show next week, and
Yeah,
what
we're
we did.
planning on doing this every week, right? So we'll keep to this time if we can, but we're planning on doing this every week. We're going to have different guests of people that we work with, people that we know, people, users, some of our users to come on and just show your work. We want to see what you guys are creating with what we're doing here.
And
So
if
it's a great place to show the kind of fantastic work you're doing with Image Lab.
and if you're interested to join us, let us know. We are quite simple to find. It's Christian Brown at depix AI or Philip Lunn at depix AI.
Exactly.
And I have to say, which is one very important thing, because if you come to our website, dpiximagelab.com, Philip, you can show it maybe a little bit, the website. And
Yeah, I was
then
going to try
you
and go
join
through.
our tool, you make your account, you get 250 credits for free right now. It's a special offer right now. And that means you could do 250 images, or you could do, I think, 38 or 28
28 videos, I think.
28 videos, which is also quite great, just so I like to invite you all, just use it and try it out and for free. And I think it's really
Yeah, this is
worth
what you
a try.
see when you come to dpiximagelab.com. You just click on create account, make your account, and you're in business. You don't have to put in a credit card to get going. We give you 250 credits, and you too can be making images of a wide variety and some beautiful, beautiful creative work that's going to take your work and push it much further than ever before, faster and to get your ideas realized.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay, so thanks very much, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Philip. And thank you guys out there, and hope to see you next week and maybe much more people. See you. Bye.
Bye bye.